see you. It is Tuesday. Good to see you guys. Welcome in. All right. So it's Tuesday. We started our 5-day, which actually this month it's 4-day challenge yesterday. So if you missed that in the group, it's, I'm going to make this smaller. It is, I can't. Shoot. That's okay. It is in Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, and we started yesterday. It is a replay. It's in the group. You can go find it. And then today we'll do session number 2 at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's so good to see you guys. You guys, the best deal. I woke up to this email today. This is the email that I woke up to. 20% off site-wide for like a couple of days. Like, this does not happen. So I just have to tell you guys, as you are stocking up, as you are wanting to try, I was talking to somebody this morning who, good morning, Brenda, and I can see your name. What a treat. Good to see you. As I was like setting up my StreamYard this morning, I'm thinking, am I going to be able to see this? Or is it going to say Facebook user again? So I'm so glad that I can see your name. Anyway, so I was talking to somebody this morning. She's like, well, that works for me because I was actually, I was going to place an order, but I wanted to know about the, the blood orange fat burner, blah, blah, blah. And so I was able to chat with her about that. And this doesn't happen very often. So if you don't know who I am at all, which is highly likely, my name is Kirsten Liebelt. And basically I turned back my own insulin resistance starting a little over 10 years ago. My dad died of type 2 diabetes when he was 63 years old and I was only 30. And that really impacted my life. His life impacted my life because he was insulin dependent and we had a lot of medical emergencies, et cetera, until he was gone at 63. So when I finally did something about my own issues, I was in my upper 40s. I waited forever. And then I finally did something and I did not think I could trade out my foods. So it's extraordinarily ironic that in the group, I teach ingredient trade outs. Like that was not in my, that was not on my bingo card, as they would say. And also too, I would have been like, my Facebook picture would have been least likely to ever figure out how to lose weight and like not eat sugar, like not happening at all. But anyway, okay, I digress. So basically, you know what? But I did, I figured it out. And it has been a process for me. So I love coming on here and talking to you guys about the fact that insulin resistance is not a terminal diagnosis and that it is 100% reversible. And that it is not rocket science. They want us to think that this is like so daunting. And so like, how will you ever do things without their answers of scripts? And I am not a doctor. I always say that, but I do want you to know that we do have way better options to do things naturally. So I started things a little over 10 years ago with the targeted supplementation. So this isn't something like new that I just started last week or anything like that. This is literally my own testimony of how I avoided type 2. And I'm the only one in my family that did. Like amazing. There was just a lot of obesity and type 2 in my Italian family, a lot. And I can't say for the entire family, but I can say for my immediate family, I'm the only one who avoided it. And I took the route of supplementation. My dad took the route of medication. He died at 63. I'll be 60 next month and I'm not on any meds at all. Like, I teach 2 things and 2 things only to keep life very simple for people. Targeted supplementation and food ingredient trade outs. Let's go. Let's do this. Oh, the testimonies make me so freaking happy all the time. If you even understood, like, I know that I'm doing something that like is so connected to who I am because I'm so passionate about it. So Lisa, I should be a doctor. I know myself. Well, you know what? Everybody can research, Lisa. So I just do a lot of research. I'm a geek. You're very sweet though. I appreciate you very, very much. Magda, I can see your name today, Magda. Thank you though for letting me know. So just to let you know, the testimony that I got yesterday that I may have said it again, but I want to say it again because I just sent it off to somebody else this morning. So she found out that she was type 2 3 years ago when she had a stroke. That was her introduction to being type 2. Her A1C was at a 13. And for 3 years, she worked with her docs and she got her A1C down, but she could not budge one single solitary pound. And she was super duper frustrated. So in September, she started on the trio. Those are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And within 2.5 months, not only did her morning sugars come down 30 points, that dawn phenomenon, which is a stinker, she lost 14 pounds. So she was continuing on the trio. And then last winter, we started having it was going out of stock. They were having issues. I don't want to say for sure because I don't know. I was speculating that they were having issues with sourcing. They're very picky about their ingredients, especially with like their capsules and stuff. So they were having an issue sourcing an ingredient, I believe. And so it went out of stock. So she just kind of was like, so she went searching for something else. She could not find this entire time. She could not find anything that has helped with her sugars like this has helped with the trio. So she just started back up on it again. She just ordered it a couple weeks ago, I think. And she just said, I found 0. She literally wrote the word 0. I found 0 that has helped me with my sugars like that. So I tell you that story on the front end of this today because the entire site is 20% off for a Black Friday special today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So if you've ever been the person who you actually went over to my Instagram and you actually looked at the highlight bubble and you read all of the trio testimonies, or you read, I'm starting to populate gut primer testimonies. I just started a highlight bubble for the blood orange, the fat burner, which is, it's not a gimmick. It's literally it's a thermogenic product. And so with that product, I have found, for me, it's been the narrowing of my hips. For my husband, it's been his love handles. And my girlfriend, who's already very slender, but she entered her early 50s and kind of lost her waist a little bit. So she always used to tuck in her shirts. She kind of stopped doing that. And she said, I'm tucking in my shirts again. So not everybody is very, very overweight, but we do notice hormonal differences when we hit our 50s most of the time. So I just wanted to tell you that because I don't want people to miss out. If you're looking for 20% off, if you were looking to try something that you hadn't tried yet, this is a really good opportunity. And I'll mention it again at the end of this, but I do want to, and I can answer any questions too. I want to talk about hair loss and insulin resistance. I have a girlfriend who's a cosmetologist who's been really talking about why we lose our hair, why we get thinning and stuff like that. And I feel like this is a very, very there's a lot of confidence that's lost when we can't, when we start losing our hair like that and it gets fine and thinner and we don't even know these connections. So I want to talk about that today, but I will also answer, good morning, Claudette. I will answer any, Carol, good morning, any questions that people have about the specific products that I talk about, whether it's the trio, whether it's the gut reset, whether it's the blood orange thermogenic. I will answer those today so that nobody is left without at least having an opportunity to take advantage of the 20% off because they just don't do this. It's just not common. So I woke up to this email and was like, Black Friday sale for 3 days. And I'm like, holy cannoli. Okay, I got to tell everybody. And that includes, by the way, anybody who has seen the webinar that my husband put together for the air treatment system, the water system. I already heard this morning that there are sales going through on this right now. My girlfriend just told me, because sometimes we know that we want to make things different. Like maybe we've got mold issues. Maybe we just have air quality issues. A lot of wildfires hit Minnesota, or, just wanting to upgrade your water. I mean, I could go on and on with microplastics and all sorts of things. I won't go there because I could. I won't though. And so 20% off, it's an opportunity. So, all right. 3 days, the sale. Yes, that's right. Because who was asking? So, Noliac 50. Yes. reach out to me in my DM. And the only reason I say that is because this will go away when I'm done with my live on Instagram. On Instagram and TikTok, they go away. On Facebook, they stay. So that's how that goes. I'd love to share though, for real. And you don't even have to talk to me if you don't want to. Just go to the top of my Instagram page and look at the trio and read the testimonies. It'll take you, I used to say 5 minutes. It might take you 10 now. There are so many testimonies. That's phenomenal. And so I'm very passionate, very passionate. All right. So let's talk about insulin resistance and hair loss. Like, what in the world? We don't even think this way. I mean, honestly, we just don't even think this way. We do not understand that insulin is a hormone and that it affects all of the other hormones, and that this is why we turn upside down. Like, I had no idea in my 40s that this had anything to do with the fact that I was having a hard time losing weight. Who thinks like this? We don't, because we have been taught by society to only think about calorie in, calorie out. We have been taught by society to only think about, living in a calorie deficit, or, like you're supposed to just elliptical your way to weight loss, hit high intensity, training and all this stuff. Well, when you get older and you're now hitting like menopause, the advice of the 30-year-olds is not the same anymore. You now need advice according to where you are in your own body's like hormonal universe. And insulin is a hormone, cortisol is a hormone, GLP-1 is a hormone. Like, we now have to have this hormone conversation, and we have to stop the old, primitive, archaic conversation of it's only about calories. And if you would live in a calorie deficit and blah, blah, blah. How about if we're insulin resistant, we change the lens of how we're viewing everything? Because when you do, then all of a sudden you can finally lose weight. Because guess what? When your insulin and or your sugars are high, you can't lose weight, and you're on a hamster wheel, just spinning, 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 and wondering, what is wrong with me? I used to be able to count points and everything was fine. Well, it changes. So when we hit insulin resistant land, this is what happens. So insulin resistance can absolutely be connected to hair, thinning hair. It affects how the body manages your blood sugar, right? And it can lead to higher levels of androgens, which are male hormones. So this is why sometimes we get like hair on our chin, or we get now, and you guys, seriously, now you know me. I'll tell you my stories, but you can't tell people that I tell you my stories. Okay. You can't tell anybody. It has to be just between you and me, because I got stories. So I'm Italian, and I have a very vivid memory as a little girl. You know how you look up at adults when you're standing by them, you're looking way up at them. And I had an uncle that had a girlfriend at the time. And now this was not in the day of, if you were like, let's say transgender, you would never be out in the public displaying that was a part of your life. That would never happen, right? Come on. We know our age, we know our generation. But so therefore, I'm saying that this had to do with, most likely, like my Italian family, there was so much obesity and there was so much type 2 diabetes, like everywhere. And she had a low cut dress on, and we were at, I think, a wedding is my memory. I can even remember the venue here in the cities. I know what venue it was. And I remember looking up, and I could see that she kind of like had like hair on her chest, and it very much confused me. I was like, why would she have hair on her chest? And, whatever. Or, I would also then see other people in like in the Italian family with a lot of hair, maybe on their chin, etc. It's connected to insulin resistance. And it's because it can lead to higher levels of androgens, male hormones, which can contribute to hair thinning, hair loss, especially in women. This is often seen in conditions like PCOS, where insulin resistance is a common feature, and hair loss can be one of the symptoms. Did you know this? So how frustrating is it that we think maybe most everything we think, oh, just has to do with getting old. This just has to do with, whatever. Like we just kind of make excuses for it. And we don't even know that it could be connected to insulin resistance. Isn't that wild? So wild. Chronic inflammation and poor nutrient absorption. We talk about this all the time, you guys. Poor nutrient absorption associated with insulin resistance can also impact the health of hair follicles. My girlfriend talks about this a lot as a cosmetologist. She talks about these connections. So hair follicles, furthermore, high insulin levels can disrupt, and we're going to talk about the difference right now. I'll share with you the difference between insulin and sugars here. High insulin levels can disrupt hormonal balance and blood flow. Like what? Impacting the delivery of essential nutrients to the scalp and hair follicles, which may lead to hair thinning over time. Is that not crazy? Who's thinking about blood flow and hair follicles? And then who's thinking that it's being impacted by your insulin? Addressing insulin resistance through lifestyle changes, diet, and appropriate supplementation can potentially improve their health. Okay, so Ruthie, there she is. There's my cosmetologist. Hormone imbalance, cortisol, yes, blood flow, very fascinating. So this is so interesting to me because when it's talking about when you have high insulin levels and how that can disrupt your hormonal balance and your blood flow, that means that your body is trying to get essential nutrients to your scalp and your hair follicles, and it can't because it's being disrupted by high insulin. So, okay, we all have our tests done for our, oops, I got to go over here because you can't see me. Blood glucose levels. Okay, so we come back and we say, my blood glucose levels are fine or my A1C is fine. And this is the only test that the doctor is doing. But high insulin levels is really what's affecting so much. So your pancreas releases insulin to take the glucose that you're creating from everything that you eat, whether it's a steak or a Snicker bar, you're creating glucose. Sometimes it's a little tiny bit because it's a steak. And sometimes it's a lot of it because you just drank apple juice or a Jamba juice. And it's like an IV of sugar right into your veins, right? So, a little bit or a lot. But the insulin, the job of the insulin is to grab the sugar, the glucose, and shuttle it into your cell for energy. So what's happening is behind the scenes, long before it shows up on your A1C. For me, I started my insulin resistance. It showed up in my 20s, gestational diabetic. Didn't do anything about it for 25 years. So for decades, you can be insulin resistant. And it doesn't show up in your blood glucose. They're not pulling the fasting insulin test. Insulin is a hormone. So when you have high levels of insulin, not sugars, that'll happen. Your sugars are going to rise and it's going to shuttle. Rise, shuttle, rise, shuttle. And after a while, the cell goes, door closed, we're done. I am stuffed. I am toxic. No more. Well, then what happens is now the glucose that was getting shuttled is now just rising. And now we have to make more insulin. And then it's rising and it's rising. And we have to make more insulin. And this is what happens. And now we have high inflammation. We have high sugars. And all of this extra sugar gets turned to what? Who knows what it gets turned to? I won't even wait. Fat. It gets turned to fat because insulin is a fat storing hormone. Oh, I can't get it into the cell? What? Oh my God, what? Okay, fine. I'm going to store it as fat. Let's go. In between your knees and your belly fat and your back fat. And let's see where else. Oh, on your arms. Let's get it, put a little patch there. Like, where else can I store all this fat? Oh, how about your liver, your pancreas, your intestine? Like, let's go inside. Let's go outside. Let's go everywhere because that's what it is. It's a fat storing hormone. So now once you are insulin resistant and your cell door is closed, you just, the dreadful spread of fat around our body, inside, outside. This is the hamster wheel. And we are so dang frustrated. That's why at the beginning, when I was talking about that testimony, when she started to take the trio, her sugars started to come down, her insulin started to come down, and she could finally lose weight. Because if your insulin and your sugars are high, no, you're not going to lose weight. You're stuck. That is not going to happen. If your liver is tired and toxic, you can't lose fat. No. Love your liver, by the way. Love your liver. Can you see my shirt? Love your liver. My girlfriend made that for me. Isn't that awesome? I love that shirt. I love it. But seriously, you can't lose fat. So then you're stuck. And this is a biological conversation. This isn't a gimmick. This isn't a magical anything. This is a lift up the hood to your car. This is about as non-emotional as going to the mechanic. Well, the emotion comes when you get the bill. But I'm just saying, lift up the hood to your car. That's what the trio was doing for your body. So then what happened? She dropped her points by 30 in the morning, her dawn phenomenon. And because she dropped her sugar points, 30 points, she lost 14 pounds because they are connected. They're connected. You've been watching your food intake and testing your blood sugar, your normal range, scale not moving. Yeah, well, that could very well be. Would the trio help? You know, it's an interesting question. You have to decide whether or not you feel like you are on the insulin resistant side of life. How do you know this? So this is what this would look like. You eat, and about an hour later, you are so hungry. You eat and you are exhausted. You crave sugar and carbs. You're chasing that energy. Your body is wanting more energy. You are maybe getting skin tags on your neck or dark patches on your neck. That's another one. And maybe the fat that you are gaining or not able to lose is belly fat. It's right here on your belly. And that is insulin, oftentimes cortisol too, but they're kind of sister hormones. They're kind of friends, besties, insulin and cortisol. So that's where people have begun to assess themselves, because most of the time they will not pull a fasting insulin test. And it's so people will try it and then you can decide for yourself. Most of us are insulin resistant. If you have fatty liver, PCOS, if you get gout, if, like you said, your blood sugars are fine, but anybody who's pre-type 2, type 2, this is all connected. High blood pressure, trying to think of what else. There's a lot. Everything is connected to insulin resistance, almost everything. So, yeah, that's kind of my answer. I mean, I know that's kind of like maybe a little vague, only in the sense that you kind of have to become your own assessor, right? Because if they're not going to help us, we have to become our own advocates. And I want to give people permission to give yourself an opportunity to go on your, like, assess yourself, become your own journey, become your own helper in this arena. So anyway, you can always reach out to me. It's why I put this here, so that people can go to my site right there. And if you go to my site, it's on my profile, you can scroll up and find a Facebook blue button and get into the group. We're doing a challenge this week. It's a free challenge, 2:00 Central Standard Time. I'll be in the group again today going through ingredient trade-outs. I love this one because I'm Italian, so this was a big deal for me. But you can also, like, there's a number there. You could text me and ask me questions. You can always say, listen, I was on your live and, you know, you're talking about this trio thing and I just don't know anything about it. Will you send me a cart? Or you can also go over to my IG. You'll see where I underlined IG over there. I did that because it's a portal. And at the top of my IG, I have a highlight bubble. I don't know how to I have to think about this because I can do highlight bubbles on TikTok. Maybe what I have to do is put together a reel that's filled with testimonies. I have to think about that. And then I could pin that to the top of my TikTok also. Maybe I need to do that. But anyway, I usually end up having to send people because I can't send clickable links. So the trio are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. It's something that I started. Where's my trio? I started them a little over 10 years ago. And I did it by, here they are. I did it by crossing my fingers. My dad was insulin dependent. He would take 2 shots a day. And then he had a Lazy Susan full of medication. And his body really fought with itself, trying to get everything to balance out. So as a business owner, because he didn't have to go to work. I mean, he worked all the time, but as a business owner, he could stay home and wait for all of his medicine to play nice in his body. And he would just make phone calls to his employees, etc. But that was the life of my dad. And I thought that that was going to be me too, because I was gestational diabetic with my first baby and hypoglycemic with my second baby. So instead, in my upper 40s, 25 years after I was gestational diabetic, I decided that I was going to try supplementation because I wasn't willing to trade out my foods. It's my most honest answer. Too connected to food, wasn't going to do it. So I crossed my fingers and I started these. These are the 3 supplements. And basically what you have here is you have a suite of products that helps your insulin, your sugars, your liver, because again, your liver is everything. Love your liver. You have to deal with your liver. Too many people have fatty liver. Too many people have a liver that is not allowing them to lose fat, etc. And then your visceral fat that's around your organs and your metabolism. So it's kind of like this trifecta. This one you take 3 times a day if you guys have never done this. And everything is, it's literally all 20% off today, you guys, on the site. So if you don't want it, how do I say this? If you were ever going to reach out to me and ask me a question, do it now while everything is 20% off. Like, don't miss out on that. And it doesn't even mean that you have to do anything. Just like, don't miss out on asking me questions or finding out. Like, don't miss a sale. I'm a sale person. I was raised by a father who was Italian and he was the son of an immigrant. I don't miss a sale. I was raised. Why would you ever pay retail if you can pay wholesale? This one you take 3 times a day. These other 2 you take twice a day. That's literally what it is. And if you need the testimonies, go over to my Instagram page. There's a pink highlight bubble at the top of my Instagram page. Testimony, 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 testimony. I mean, it's almost obnoxious. It's getting so full in that bubble. I probably need to start another bubble. So that's how that is going. And that's what they are. So I hope that answers your question. If you need anything else, let me know. You're looking for the sale, but you don't have, okay, yep. You'll ask her, I know. Maria, I understand. And it's okay. Don't ever feel bad because we're all at different places. So don't feel bad. You know what? No big deal. All right. I think I'm missing stuff. I apologize. Oh, my stars. I was missing stuff on Instagram. Your church is doing a 21-day fast. I hope this is a start in the right direction for me. Sherry, it can be, fasting can be helpful, but it depends on what kind of a fast. Sometimes you don't want it to raise cortisol, but I would never tell you not to join in on what your church is doing. That's a completely different conversation. Fasting for the fasting that they're talking about, hello, Sherry, is a completely different conversation than intermittent fasting. So I don't want to confuse those two. Yep, 3 days the sale. Yep, 3 days. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, good. Yeah, today, tomorrow through Thursday is the 20% off. And that literally is everything. I mean, everything. So anybody who has even seen the webinars for the air and the water treatment systems, that would be very beneficial for people. Okay, very good. So when we're looking at the connection between insulin resistance and losing your hair or thinning your hair, this deeper understanding. So when the body becomes less responsive to insulin, what's happening is the pancreas is producing more insulin to help maintain your normal blood sugar levels, and it leads to hyperinsulinemia or elevated insulin levels in your bloodstream. Okay, so this is what's causing the lack of new blood flow and nutrition to your hair follicles. And so it's going through cycles of growth, regression, and rest. Elevated androgens, the male hormones, disrupt the cycle by shortening the growth phase and extending the resting phase. So there's less growth, more rest, less growth, more rest. Okay. This leads to more hair shedding and less hair growth, resulting in overall thinning. So less growth, more rest. That is not what we want. We don't want that. We want the opposite. But it can also impair your blood circulation. And we know this, like my dad, because you lose your circulation because of his like type 2 diabetes. Like that's why the sores on his legs weren't healing. And that's what I was paying attention to for myself because I was too scared to go to the doctor. So I was just paying attention to that. So poor circulation means that hair follicles may receive inadequate blood flow and fewer essential nutrients like vitamins and minerals. This lack of nourishment weakens the follicles, contributing to fragile, thinning hair. Inflammation and stress, chronic low-grade inflammation, often present in insulin resistance, can damage hair follicle cells and surrounding tissues. This creates an environment where hair follicles struggle to maintain healthy hair production. Yeah, the Daniel and intermittent fasting. Yeah, oh, very good. Very good. Yes, I know about that. That's awesome, Sherry. Good for you. By understanding these steps, it's clear that insulin resistance triggers multiple pathways to leading to hair thinning, emphasizing the importance of managing blood sugar and overall metabolic health to maintain hair health. Carol says, so even if we already have an established ditto, she's talking about the auto ship, we could order some stuff extra like it to stock up. Yes, Carol, that's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, you can. You can just place an order and you'll see it in your, this is what I did this morning. The very first thing that I did when I saw the email, I immediately, now this is not for everybody, but I immediately went to the website and I put one of the air treatment systems and the water treatment systems in my cart because I wanted to know if the discount was going to apply because this is highly unusual. So I was like, game on. Okay, I'm going to tell everybody. So yeah, so you go for it, Carol. I mean, honestly, don't pay retail if you don't have to pay retail. Don't do it. And then if you are a registered customer, if you register with your name, then you can get free shipping at $139 or more. Excuse me, first day drinking. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. I'm just dribbling over here. Okay. And again, to bring down the inflammation, to actually counteract what's been happening with your body. You guys, we've been having the same conversations quite a bit now, and we're talking about the trio, which helps, but also doing a gut reset. And if you have ever considered trying the primer with a probiotic with the 20% off, this is the time to try it. And I'll tell you, the two things that I think that it helps people to do the most right now is navigate the holidays of all of the social events that we are, that we attend. Nobody wants to go to a holiday event and be constipated or to have issues with bloating and gas, etc. Nobody wants that. But resetting your gut can change the way you now go through November and December. But number two, it can get you to land on your feet January 1. You can be in a completely different place than you've ever been going into the new year. It's very frustrating to feel like you're crawling on your belly just to get into January. Like you're so tired of overeating. You're so tired of beating yourself up. Like it's exhausting to beat yourself up. You have to stop doing that. Last night, by the way, we did a session in the group. Ditch insulin resistance for women. We did a session on Self-Sabotage No More, the book. So stop beating yourself up. You have to love yourself. I am wearing my Love Your Liver shirt, Lisa. Thank you for asking. I am. I haven't worn it for a while. I love this shirt. I did an event on Saturday. Why didn't I wear it? Can anybody explain to me why I didn't think to wear this to my event? Do you know how many people purchased the gut primer on Saturday? Like, why was I not wearing my Love Your Liver? I don't understand. It's crazy. So anyway, yeah. So any questions about anything? We're kind of a little early today, but if you want to ask questions about any of the, I know, right? She's laughing at me. You want to ask any questions about anything that I've ever talked about, whether it's the turmeric or the ashwagandha or anything, because you're curious because of the 20% off, I'd be more than happy to answer that for you so that you can take advantage of that. This afternoon now at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time in the group, I'll go live again. We'll do our ingredient trade outs. Tomorrow, we are going to do a pantry and a fridge reveal. And I do this every single month. I do a challenge like this every month because it gives you an opportunity for repetition, and repetition is the mother of all skill. Like, you want a track to run on. Nobody just wants to buy products just to buy products. I mean, even though the testimonies are phenomenal, right? But you want to have community in that, and you want to have a track to run on. So if I can teach you how to trade out your food at the same time, if I can teach you how to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with, if I can get you to understand that you don't have to live in deprivation or deprivation land or punishment, you're not punishing yourself. And God didn't make bad. Have a good day, Carol. See you later. You do not need a code, Brenda. Thank you for asking. It is going to just show up. It literally just is there. I know it's really quite a good deal. And you'll see that as you add things to your cart, you'll see. So a question about the turmeric. The most turmeric is actually not bioavailable. Here we are buying turmeric and we don't even know that our bodies don't absorb it as well as we would like it to. So what they did was they developed an extract. I mean, it's in pill form. It's in capsule form. I can show it to you. It kind of smells like maple syrup because they put fenugreek in it. It smells amazing. I love the smell, but it's very, very potent. And let's see, I can hold it up against so you can see it there. There we go. And it actually is 45 times more absorbable than your average turmeric. That is a really big claim. And this is coming from, like, they don't make claims like this because you have to be careful when you are a supplement company because, but this is a company that's been around for like 90 years. So you're very careful because you're not going to ruin your brand and you're not going to, whatever, you're not going to sabotage yourself. But 45 times more absorbable. So taking 400 milligrams of the turmeric that I take is like taking 6,000 milligrams of another turmeric. And what that means is, let me tell you what that looks like. So for me, like last week I was out of town. I was in Orlando and my sciatic was bugging me. And I'm like, ugh. So instead of taking ibuprofen and going to bed, I took 2 of these and I went to bed. And I woke up feeling amazing. And I posted it in my stories and I had a customer go, "The turmeric is so good, OMG." And I'm like, yes, it is. So when you can tell the difference in how things are helping you, on the actual bottle, it says it helps with aches and pains. And nobody ever uses the word pain. So it's shocking that they do. Aches and pains associated with exercise. Well, I wasn't exercising. I mean, I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying I wasn't. I was just traveling. So it doesn't know whether or not it was from exercise is my point. Ha, 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 ha. I'm being funny. So anyway, so that's what the turmeric is. How often do I take it? You know what? Normally what I do is I just take 2 a day. I take 1 in the morning and then I take 1 later on in the day. However, when I've got something I'm trying to fix, so to speak, like like something, whatever, I'll take, even if I took 1 in the morning, I'll take 2 and go to bed and let it, like when your body is at rest and your body is healing, that's what I'll do with that. So that's a really good question though. But no, I take it on a regular basis. And especially if you consider the fact that, like, if you're insulin resistant, high insulin levels is an automatic high inflammation. So one of the things that I talk about a lot is that I don't ache. Like, I wake up and I feel good and I'm 59, I'll be 60 next month. Now that has to do with the fact that I have turned back my insulin resistance. And it has to do with the second thing that I very much teach, which is the way that I eat. I eat a very low inflammatory diet. I mean, whole food, keto. So I'm not spiking my sugars. I'm not calling on insulin, but I'm also not eating highly processed foods, like almost ever. Like all of the keto crap that they like try to market to you, it's not of benefit. And as far as a high fat keto diet, that was developed for epilepsy. If you're trying to lose weight, eating a high fat keto diet is like, you might as well just be like, get back on your hamster wheel. It's very frustrating for a lot of people. So a lot of people will say, you know what? I tried keto and it didn't work for me. Well, you maybe didn't like look at the keto way that Maria Emmerich teaches, where it's high protein, moderate, good fats. and then like you really crush those carbs down, because you have to stop the cycle of your body trying to get the glucose into your cell and it can't because it's resistant. You have to stop giving it so much glucose so that it can actually begin to burn fat in your body. So I hope that kind of helps that a little bit. But tomorrow we'll do, tomorrow, like I said, we'll do the pantry and fridge reveal. And then somewhere, because this week is only a 4-day challenge, because I'm traveling on Friday again, there will be a recipe in there somewhere. I just don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Thursday. It's probably going to be Thursday. I just have to kind of take a look at, I haven't decided yet what we're going to make. Like maybe you guys can give me your thoughts on that. Last month we did Asian meatballs because I wanted you to have something that you could put in a crock pot and take to like an event, take to a social gathering. Come on, we're like running around with crock pots for the next 60 days, right? From here and all the way through New Year's Eve. That's what we're doing. And so I wanted to give you something like that. And then that was October. What was September? I don't remember September now, but then August was the lemon blueberry keto bars. Those were phenomenal. And so I just have to think about another recipe. I've been mulling a few things over. And if anybody has any suggestions, let me know. But if you have any questions or if you need anything, Facebook, when you drop questions, they will stay there and I can see them. Instagram and TikTok, they go away when I shut down the live here. Right now, they'll just go away. So you do have to either get into my inbox, or for TikTok, if you see I've underlined the IG portal over there underneath that arrow, you can portal right over to IG and get into my inbox. What about my chicken lasagna? Tell me what you think about that, Magda. What are you thinking chicken lasagna? I'm trying to think. Tell me, because I'm not remembering now. I need to know. Did I see Maria's Chex Mix? I've heard of it, Donna. That's a really good idea too. Now, is that being made with pork rinds? Is that what that is? Because that could potentially be very helpful too. Because we all want to be able to have like snack things and all of the good stuff. God, see, now you're giving me ideas. Chicken lasagna though, Magda, I'm trying to remember what that would be. Very interesting. I'm trying, when you say that, I think like a white sauce, but I don't know if that's what you're meaning. So, but yeah, you just have to, the pork rinds. Okay. Well, that's interesting. And you could do it both ways now too, right? So you could do the Chex Mix where it's with like the Worcestershire and the whatever, but you could also do it like, you could make it like puppy chow, right? You could make it the sweet with the, like probably using powdered swerve and yeah, interesting. It piqued your interest for the holidays. Okay, Donna, thank you. I'm taking that one. The store-bought chicken slices. Yes. I've already done that in the group, Magda, but you are right. That lasagna is amazing. So that's a Maria Emmerich tip. That is, she's using deli chicken slices. And if you go and you have it sliced for you, ask the meat person to slice it on a number 2 on their slicer. And you're using that instead of lasagna noodles for your lasagna. And in the group, go to the search bar at the very top and search keto lasagna. And I did do that one, and it is a good recipe. It's really good. So that's what you meant by that. I get it now. Okay, I'm tracking. And I highly recommend that. Very, very good. Is it the lasagna where you substitute the noodles with turkey lunch meat? Yes, Carol. That's right. You guys know. You guys are on it. You're on it. Well, I think that's very interesting, though, to do like a Chex Mix or something like that. Something, again, that you can take other places. Okay. I'm thinking. That sounds really good. All right. Well, if you need anything, please don't hesitate, especially during the next couple of days here where they're doing their Black Friday special, 20% off the entire site. So, and that means everything from, a bottle of turmeric all the way up to an air treatment or a water treatment system. Like this is a really big sale. This is very spread out, and they do not do this. So don't miss out if you can help it. But if you have questions so that you can make a good decision or whatever, I will put a cart together for you with whatever it is that you're looking for. And you can just ask me for a cart. So, all right. You guys are amazing. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I will also see you this afternoon at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that is in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And if you want to search it, you can search it if you don't know anything about it. Or if you're on TikTok, you can see I put it right there. My site is right there. And so because I did that, all you do is you click on my site and you scroll up and you'll see a Facebook blue button and you can portal right over. And that'll make it super easy. And then I'll see you guys this afternoon. So have a super blessed day. And I'm going to get off and go answer questions because I know that I have people chatting with me in my inbox about the sale. So I'll see you guys later.